Hi and welcome everyone. Today we're gonna have a look at how we can set up VS Code so that we can do coding exercises with it. VS Code is a code editor and it's the code editor of choice that we're gonna use for web development. It's very popular and it's gonna be the tool that you use all the time. You will see in a lot of tutorials that people use this, so it's a great choice to start out. Okay, let's get right into it. We are gonna check out the website of VS Code. So this is how it will look. And on that one, we are gonna download it. It's downloading. Great. So now we downloaded it. And you see here that it's in the downloads folder and it is basically ready to go. What I want to do first is I want to move it to the applications folders. This is the place where it goes. Right, so once you moved it into the applications folder, your Spotlight should find it if you type in code. That's pretty cool, right? So this is how it looks when it's fresh. And the first thing we're gonna do is we choose a theme. I will choose the dark modern theme because I think that's the most standard for web development, but you can choose whatever you like. The next thing we want to do is let's get a little bit of orientation, right? So on the left side, we will have this menu, and the first item there, that's the Explorer, and that's the thing that you will probably use the most. And from there, you can click Open Folder. And we will here set up a folder that we will use in the future. So it's a good practice that you have one folder where you save all your projects. So in our user folder, which is in my case called HCS, we will create a new folder that is called projects. I encourage you do the same and follow along. In the projects, we will then create all the folders where our projects are. So for every new website we're gonna build, we will create a new folder in the projects folder. And now for this example, I'm gonna create a new folder that is called VS Code Setup. And I click open. And since I just created this folder, I know I can trust it. So you now see here on the left, there's my folder called VS Code Setup, but it doesn't have any files in there yet. So the first thing we're gonna do is we create a file with that icon and we call it index.html. And this opens an HTML file. So in here, if I just type HTML, VS Code suggests me a couple of autocomplete options, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna choose HTML5, and this will set up all the boilerplate that I need for my HTML page. In future videos, we will explain what that means. Just for now, you can follow along and choose HTML5, and it will create something like this for you. All right, so this is a valid website, and you can see on the top that we have this white dot there. That means that the file is not saved yet. And because, like, if you have worked in the past with files, you might have encountered this problem where you didn't save the file and maybe lost some work. So what we can do in VS Code, where VS Code can help us with that problem, is there's a setting that is called autosave. And we're gonna switch that on. So we go to the main menu, we go to settings, and here we see the very first option that we see here is called autosave. And we click on it and we will choose after delay. And what this does is it will automatically save the file after a delay of 1 second. So if you make changes to your file after exactly 1 second, it will save it automatically and you will never have this problem that you forgot to save. So now if I make a change to my HTML file, if I change the title, for example, and I type hello world, I don't need to save. It saves it automatically for me after I make this change. The white dot is gone. The next thing we're going to do is we will install some extensions. So we go to this tab. This is extensions. And it suggests us a ton of extensions that we can install. We want to install only 2 today. We will probably install a lot more extensions, but we will do that if we go through our tutorials in later videos. We will only install the ones that we need when we need them. There are a couple of extensions that are very practical for web development and that you shouldn't miss. The first one is called Prettier. So I'm gonna type this here in the search bar. This is this extension. And you press install and it installed it. And what Prettier does is it formats your code in a prettier way. So your code will look better and it will be clean. And what we need to do after we installed it is we need to set the default code formatter to Prettier. So this is basically telling VS Code, please use the Prettier extension to make my code prettier, because otherwise it doesn't know that it's supposed to use Prettier. And we do this by going back into the settings, and then we can search the settings and we can type format, and then we see this option default formatter, and we can choose here, and if I press P a couple of times I will get Prettier. So I select it. Okay, great. So Prettier is set up and we are good to go. Another extension that we want to install is called Live Preview. Live Preview will let us see the website that we are editing in code. So in the extensions, we type Live Preview. This one. And we click on install. Now we installed it. And now we see we have another icon here that is showing a preview. Right now there's nothing on our website, but if we type test hello world, we can see it here. So that's pretty handy. This is enough to start. You're pretty much ready to take off with your VS Code. That was it for today. I hope it worked well for you to set up VS Code. If not, just shoot me a comment or join our Slack group where you can ask questions. I'm gonna link it down in the description and I see you in the next one.